everybody, and today we're going to be watching Nintendo's greed just ruined gaming for everybody, which I'm interested in because I go on Nintendo rants all the time. Basically, it's what I love the app about, so let's see what other people think.
If you are a regular on this channel, you would know that I've been calling Nintendo out on their greediness for years.
Good.
And in my Switch 2 predictions video, I said the console would be perfectly fine, but the reason I'm worried is because I've lost trust in Nintendo themselves.
And that's bad because once you lose like your consumers' trust, you can really never get that back because there's so many people that just kind of like hop off and go do something else afterwards. And then you have to do something so crazy or so wild that maybe they're interested again. It's just a bad cycle.
Sadly, that video aged too well. But fortunately, the Switch 2's new prices were so bad that even the most loyal of Nintendo fans simultaneously broke out of their trance and realized what the company they are supporting really is.
Yeah.
Nintendo is the final boss in the battle between customers and the video games industry.
True.
Raise the price to $80!
This $20 price hike is insanity. You have lost your mind. By principle, I can't spend.
Poor grandma. Think if the kid's asking grandma for Mario Kart for Christmas, she's like, damn, I'm sorry, I can't do it. And then people won't believe that Santa's real anymore.
Alright, I'm just gonna say it. It's not worth 80.
Damn!
I'm just gonna say it off the rip.
They're testing the market. They're the ones that are gonna break the dam because they know that their sycophants are gonna buy it no matter what.
Nintendo is charging you for your love of the franchise. And I don't know how you rationalize that or you feel about that, but that's scummy.
I'm just scared of what precedent it sets for other companies. Like, how expensive are games gonna be 3 years from now? Probably over 100.
Begin to rationalize why they would charge money for their tutorial of the Switch 2.
Oh, that was horrible! We watched that get announced. I thought it was gonna be free. At least I think the game that they did charge for, I'm pretty sure it was the one that came with the Wii U. It was like a tech demo game, but it at least had fun mini games that you could play with your friends. You could enjoy it. But this just seemed like it was the back of the box coded into a game experience.
It's craziness. That is an actual Mr. Krabs maneuver.
3 times the flavor, 3 times the price.
We look at every game and every experience and determine what we believe is the right price point based on that experience.
The executives over at Nintendo are horrifyingly out of touch, not just with gamers in general, but
$9.99 is not an exorbitant price. Nintendo exec defends Switch 2 welcome tour. It should be free $9.99. Free, mother sucker, free!
also just with regular human beings.
When I turned on the Treehouse Live and saw every comment in the chat was drop the
Oh, yes! Everybody commented to drop the price. And I think I saw it because I actually watched the direct after it aired. They did not let you see the chat on the VOD. They got rid of the chat. You couldn't even see it because everybody was just spamming drop the price. And I mean, occasionally there was one guy saying raise the price, but we knew what he meant. He was rage baiting. He was rage baiting.
The whole duration of the Treehouse Live. I don't want to try and blow things out of proportion, but this does feel like a true crisis moment for Nintendo.
Yeah.
To say fans are upset would be an understatement,
$100.
because I've never seen the Nintendo fan base this united since ever. And it's not just the Nintendo community that's in an outrage, but the gaming community across all platforms. This is a time when gamers don't really have much to look forward to from the big three, or even—
Which is crazy because I think the most fun I've had recently are like indie games. I don't know, and they're like way cheaper too, so you get way more enjoyment for like a third of the price, which is insane.
PC. Sony is obsessed with live service games, Xbox pretty much gave up, and all the new AAA games for PC feel less optimized than the last. So people were really hoping for Nintendo to swoop in and bring some life to the gaming industry.
And they kind of have to, because basically Nintendo has to sell you on the gaming experience because you have to buy the console to play their games, right? Like everything else, most of the time you can play on PC. But they have to work double hard because you have to convince me to buy your console.
Little did they know that they were about to crash it. But before we dive into this dumpster fire that is the Switch 2, I want to talk about the good things, as I believe they play a big role on why fans are so outraged. But if you just want to skip to the more juicier parts of the video, then here are some timelines.
Why is he yelling at me? I didn't do nothing.
As I mentioned, the Switch 2 as a console is not bad at all. It's actually better than I thought it'd be. Like, I didn't think the screen would have a 120Hz refresh rate. I guess the silver lining of Nintendo's PS3 looking games is that they can run smoother on better hardware, and I'm fine with that. I don't need to see the pores on Mario's skin. Good looking games are nice, but
I agree. Like, I don't know. I don't ever play a game and just for the graphics. I don't know if I've really ever done that. And I wish that people focused more on story, because I know I yap about Expedition 33 all the time, but that was the first time in a while where I was like, dang, a story can actually sell a game. I would play for 12 hours straight just because I wanted to know what was going to happen next.
the costs of making them are ridiculous. Instead, we should be focusing on making games that are well optimized, so this is good. And also, that's not to say the Switch 2 is incapable of having nice graphics. A crap ton of third-party games were confirmed.
That was supposed to be a British accent. I don't know what the hell that was. That was the worst British accent I think I've ever done.
A lot of them look great. The two that stood out to me the most were FF7 Remake and Cyberpunk. I am amazed that this tiny tablet is outputting these graphics.
Yeah.
And I am sure that they are run at a lower resolution and then upscaled with AI, but still, for a handheld, this is impressive. Also, it's worth pointing out that when docked, the Switch 2 supports up to 4K 60 FPS.
That shocked me when I was setting up the Mario Kart stuff. All the way up to 4K is insane. I would have never expected that. There's so many times I played games on the Switch 1 where they would literally not even have sound options. Like, you couldn't turn the music down separate from the actual game. So when I saw there was actually 4K, I went, what the hell?
But just don't expect any GPU-intensive games to be hitting that mark. Also, it wasn't in the Direct, but both Switch controllers are confirmed to work on the Switch 2, so you won't have to throw out all those controllers.
Wait, that's true?
We also got a brand new from Southgate. I don't know. These guys just had a massive DLC last year, and a new game set to release in 2 months. And now they added another game? How are they doing this? Wait.
I was scared when I saw this because at that point I didn't know if the Switch 2 was gonna have Ethernet cord, and I went, why would you do this? Why would you make me play an online game on the Switch?
It's an online multiplayer game.
Yep.
Yeah. I think some people might like this.
Oh,
we'll call it a win.
Where's
What's
the
an
Booba Frog?
absolute
I've never
win
seen him.
Is Donkey. They gave him the Mario Odyssey treatment, where you go to different sandbox areas and they condense the content into a small but open world, leaving you with a game that's full of secrets and things to do left.
That looks great. This sold me on the Switch 2 because this actually looks fun. And I like that the graphics still look cute. I like how expressive his face is. I like the music. This game is gonna be pretty good. Hopefully, that doesn't age poorly.
And right. And the gimmick this time of being able to break anything you see, terraforming the map, it is an interesting concept, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. If there is any reason to buy a Switch 2, it would be this game.
I agree.
Put me in an underwater level and crank up the aquatic ambience.
I wonder why that couldn't have been a launch title. I think people would have been less angry if they had another game to also play. Even if they had to postpone till July, because I think the game comes out in July, it would have been way better to have this on the launch lineup.
And I might just forget that it got scammed to play it. Other than that, there were a couple small things they added, which I think will go a long way in making the Switch 2 a better console.
I kind of like the mouse controller.
The most
I think
surprising
it's cool.
of them is Game Share, which is practically like download play from the DS. It allows you to play a game with a group of people, even if one person owns a copy.
I don't care. I will still say forever that the DS was always my favorite console. I remember I'd be playing games underneath the desk while I was in school. We'd be download playing Mario Kart, which was awesome. I also really like Street Pass. It was so cool to know that other people around you were also playing video games. It was great, and it was a good size. Like, I don't think every handheld has to be huge, like big screen, big this, big that, because then I'm just carrying around a laptop. I don't want that. I'd like to be able to carry something that I can actually have without weighing my bag down.
This is the most pro-consumer thing about this console. Like, I just briefly threw it out there in my Switch 2 predictions video, but I never actually expected Nintendo to do it, but they did. Also, this is just hopeful thinking, but the technology behind GameShare is very similar to how the Wii U casts an image to the gamepad, but in this case, it's the main Switch 2 that has the game inside of it casting to the others. So given the Switch 2 is capable of doing this, maybe we might see Wii U games be brought back in their...
Oh, that was the game I was telling you about, the Wii U. That one was like basically a tech demo for like the features of the Wii U, but it was fun and the mini games were great.
Full glory. Perhaps they could release an accessory that's just a touchscreen, you know, nothing fancy, no processing power,
Nintendo
and the Switch
Land,
2
yeah.
can cast to it. You could even make it into a giant DS and plug it in the top. I mean, it's already been confirmed that we can plug in accessories to the...
Oh, not the camera! He's gonna talk about the camera, isn't he? I am so scared for that. It looks like Garbo!
top USB-C port. Speaking of, I'm glad they finally added voice chat, but this whole camera video chat thing with 1 frame per second game share, it's cool for the people who want it. Okay, I can't pretend anymore. See this camera? The one that makes the Wii U gamepad look like 4K? It's $50.
That is insane. 50 bucks. That used to be the price of the games.
China!
No!
If you want to use it in a party game,
Alright, I got Diddy.
then that means everyone has to awkwardly squeeze into frame. And the voice chat? Well, there's no microphone on the controllers, only on the Switch itself.
They should do like the Xbox mics. I remember my dad used to have that where it was kind of like I think it was like a gray mic with like a thing on the end, and it had like this kind of like attachment where you would plug it into the controller. Those were kind of cool. I mean, they sounded like shit, but they were awesome.
You know, the one that is sitting right next to the TV blasting sound from your video game. But wait, in order for the microphone to pick up your voice from across the room, it means the audio gain is turned all the way up. And I don't care what they claim in the trailer, you will be able to hear everything in the room.
I get to see because of y'all. Does anybody shown what this microphone sounds like if you have stuff in the background? Because they did talk about how it has noise canceling technology. Did anybody test it? Like, turn on 20 blenders, put on 50 fire alarms, a bunch of like beeps from the ceiling. I want to see if it actually works.
They say it won't, but speaking from experience, voice
like the
isolation
noise gate.
software makes your voice sound like shit. Even in the live stream, they had a pre-recorded video. So best case scenario, you sound like this.
I will now comment on what you guys are doing.
So if you want to properly use voice chat, you'll probably need to pick up a Pro controller for $90.
Yeah.
China.
On top,
109? Oh my god. Guys, I think I'm broke. I think I spawned in broke. My
but
bad.
you have to pay to use the chat features, pretty much locking the C button behind a paywall. This entire direct felt to me like they were just boasting about meeting the bare minimum of industry standards, yet still charging a premium price.
This editing's really
Sharing
good.
your screen has been a thing since the PS4. Spatial audio was on the PS3. You have to pay $10 to play a game called Welcome Tour.
Which is crazy, man. Even paying for online, which is why I do like PC gaming, because at least you don't have to pay anybody to play the games. But I remember I used to always say that my favoriteest console was the PlayStation because you didn't have to pay to play online. And you had to pay for Xbox. So I always go, no, boo-boo, you have an Xbox. That means you have to play online. La, 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 la. Then it hit PlayStation. I went, damn. The good days are up, man. Also, Mario and Luigi are tied together back there. I just saw that.
Not a warm welcome.
Let's
Even
start
as far as
together,
tech demos go, this is lame as hell.
Mr. Kawamoto!
Hello. My current location is actually inside the game itself.
He looks like he's in the abyss in Dark Souls 1.
It's a glorified manual that has you doing things like playing a game called Guess the Frame Rate.
Guess the frame rate? That's really on there? What the hell?
Or taking an HD Rumble quiz.
All right,
Ball
question
count.
number 1. Which part of the console is shown in the image? So we saw earlier, it is not HD Rumble. It is HD Rumble 2.
That's right.
Is this a quiz? Am I being tested on my knowledge? And if I fail the quiz, does my Switch brick?
Because HD Rumble was part of the Nintendo Switch, but since we are talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, it is HD Rumble 2.
Who the hell is this game meant for? This feels like it was just a side project that an employee at Nintendo was working on in their free time. And then a higher up saw it and was like, hey, that's pretty good. I mean, is the $10 they are charging really worth sacrificing the good rapport they could have built with the fan base? No.
Was Astro's Playroom, that was free, wasn't it? That was like the PlayStation one where you could kind of like walk around and stuff.
Oh. It reminds me of the story of how Reggie fought the Japanese Nintendo headquarters to have Wii Sports be a tie-in game with every system sold. And because of that, it became a cultural phenomenon. Compare that to when Bill Trin.
Every time I see Alvin and the Chipmunks, it makes me laugh because when I was in arts and technology, my animation teacher, he was a teacher, but he used to work in the industry and he was an animator. And he said that he worked on every Alvin and the Chipmunks. It drove him absolutely insane until he quit and became a teacher instead. He said he would rather deal with college students than look at those damn chipmunks ever again.
Nin was asked about why this poopy tech demo cost money. He said, it's really for people that want more information about the system, rather than necessarily a quick intro to everything it does. And for that reason, and just the amount of care and work that the team put into it, I think it was decided that, yeah, this feels like $9.99 is not an exorbitant price. It feels like a good value for what you're getting out of the product.
No!
Oh, great. Bill, you're fired.
That was great. Look at his face. I paused perfectly.
They are just penny pinching at this point, and their justification for why the new Mario Kart costs $80 is even worse. Doug Bowser, the president of Nintendo America, yes, his name is Bowser, said this about the price.
Yeah, I would say that we're not really looking to establish a benchmark for pricing. We look at every game and every experience and determine what we believe is the right price point based on that experience.
He's really trying to tell you that they put a bunch of numbers in a hat and then picked one out and they went, nice.
So we believe based on the depth and breadth of the play and the repeatability of the play over time, the pricing that we announced is the right pricing. But
time does not always equal how much I'm going to give you. I'm sorry, it's not. If I spend 5,000 hours in Mario Kart, I'm still not paying $80 for it. Like, I won't feel good about it. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't equal how good the game is. I mean, I played League of Legends for free. Let's not comment on that. Don't look at my skins.
But again, other games like you mentioned, Donkey Kong Bonanza, it's going to be at a $70 price point because that is what we feel is the right price point for that particular gaming.
But why? What makes Donkey Kong and their own like explanation worse than Mario Kart? This looks like it has way more love into it. I don't know. If I was a dev, I'd be sad. I'm like, why do you think Mario Kart's worth more than the amount of effort we put into this?
So are they implying that Mario Kart World is a better game than Donkey Kong Bonanza?
That makes no sense.
Really? One is a brand new experience. The other is the same game we've had for the past 10 years, but with a few extra bells and whistles. Yes, people spend a lot of hours playing Mario Kart, but not because the content of the game is so great, but because of the people you play it with. It's a party game. This game is only as fun as the people you play it with.
Ruh-roh. I'd be kind of playing by myself a lot. Uh-oh.
And they're trying to charge you for that? The good old friends and family fee. That is disgusting. It's bad enough that they are already charging you to simply chat with your friends, but now it seems they're increasing the prices of family games. Because can you really put a price on the memories you'll make with your loved ones? Take Mario Party for example. They just added a couple mini games and then raised the price to $80.
That was insane. Basically, what they did was they made like Switch 2 versions of the Switch 1 games. I thought that it was going to be a free upgrade. No, you have to pay for it. I don't know why they did that. There's no games already. They should have just said, like, as a selling point to the Switch 2, oh, the games you already own, they'll be upgraded. So people would maybe want to buy it. But charging for that is insane.
Plus, you need to buy the camera separately. So $135 or $185 if you're a poor Canadian bastard like me, so that you can do this.
Yeah! Look, I did it for free.
You gotta be kidding me. This is 1-2 Switch levels of robbery. Nothing in these games will justify their price point. And
that gimmick's probably fun, like, the first time. Like, it's funny seeing everybody with the green screen background cut out like that, but how many times are you gonna replay screaming as loud as you can while jumping around?
The fact that Mario Kart World costs $30 less in the Switch 2 bundle pretty much confirms that for me.
That's what racing is about. It has nothing to do with cars or drivers. All that matters is power and the unassailable might of money.
They say the price reflects the quality, but what they don't understand is that it's a quality product when we can get it at a low price. You see, in the past, the great thing about Nintendo wasn't that they were just fun, but also affordable. It was part of their family-friendly marketing campaign to make their games as accessible as possible.
Not even just that, like, every console that Nintendo made had like a new fun gimmick every time. But I don't know what they really changed about the Switch 2, like, gimmick-wise. Like, maybe they should add in smell-o-vision. That way when you're behind, like, Rosalina and Mario Kart, maybe you get, like, a whiff.
In order to undercut their competition. And they did this by focusing on creative, cheap to produce games, which...
You remind me of a Yu-Gi-Oh card. What Yu-Gi-Oh card? Exodia? Pot of Greed?
appeal to everyone.
Today, there are people who play and people who do not. We will help destroy that wall between them, regardless of age, gender, and game experience. Anyone can instantly understand we.
This seems like a fever dream.
It was a risky strategy, but it ended up paying off.
It's a toy even Santa would have trouble finding.
It paid off so well, in fact, that 10 years later, there is an entire generation
Wait, did he remake the video? That's so cute!
of adults that hold this immense sense of loyalty and nostalgia towards Nintendo, swearing their allegiance to a company that essentially represents their childhood. And now, Nintendo doesn't even have to worry about competitive pricing, because they groomed an entire generation to give up their wallets.
Especially because, like, people my age have, like, kids and stuff. I mean, I don't. I'm not responsible enough. But they want to give their kids the same experience that they had. So they get to open up a Switch on Christmas and this and that. So it's like having a tradition of playing video games with your kids, and they'll just keep buying it.
Didn't have to be a rich kid to experience Wii Sports or Mario Kart, but you certainly need to be a rich adult if you want to satisfy your inner child, even though they're still making cheap to produce games. Just look at how much other developers are spending.
I still remember that my dad played a lot of video games. Even whenever I was younger, I would play Pokemon. He'd go, "Why are you playing that? Them graphics look like shit." I was like, "Oh, what?" So just know we all heard that when we were younger too.
God of War Ragnarok had a budget of $200 million. Spider-Man 2, $270 million. Cyberpunk 2077,
wow,
$430.
Cyberpunk was supposed to make like a huge difference. I remember everybody was so hyped for Cyberpunk. And when I got it, I couldn't even play it. People were loading into the sky. They were like exploding. My car had no wheels, but they did fix it. So I guess it's kind of like the same thing that happened with, what was it? No Man's Sky. Yeah.
7. GTA 6 has had a development cost of about $2
That much for GTA 6? Oh my god! That is insane!
$1 billion. Breath of the Wild,
billion.
Nintendo's biggest project to date, was $120 million. So there is absolutely no reason for Nintendo, of all
That guy's
people,
sweaty.
to raise the price this much, other than their own greed. Speaking of Breath of the Wild, you know, the 8-year-old launch title for the original Switch.
I liked Breath of the Wild. I speedran Breath of the Wild. I thought Breath of the Wild was a great experience. And for some reason, I just really didn't click with Tears of the Kingdom. I just wanted to know if there were other people out there like that too, because I feel crazy. I loved Breath of the Wild, but Tears of the Kingdom, I was like, okay, I don't even think I finished it.
They have decided to resell it for a higher price than when it first released. And that doesn't even include the DLC. It just runs at a better frame rate. So in total, you're paying $90. Why do you have to pay money to take advantage of the hardware you already bought? We are double dipping into our wallets. But don't get things mixed up. Not every Switch game will cost money to run better. Only the ones that have new content added.
Only the ones that people actually want. That's actually the translation of that.
Like Kirby or Mario Party, like I mentioned. But hold up a second. What's added to the Zelda games? Nothing. At least not in the actual game.
Didn't they add like a GPS? I'm pretty sure for the Zelda game, they made it so you could look at a GPS on your phone.
But the Nintendo app will have Google Maps navigation.
Proceed north. The thing you can do on the Wikipedia for free. If you have like an all right sense of direction, you just look at the picture on your Wikipedia and then look at your screen and then go there.
Your destination is north of here and close. Your destination is above. Your destination is nearby.
This is yellow paint, but like even bigger. Someone's gonna do a challenge run only using GPS. Oh, me. My idea now, yoink.
You have reached your destination. Guidance deactivating.
Who wanted this? Exploration is a core part of the game. Like, you were supposed to get lost in this world. I guess if you're a crazy completionist, this might be helpful.
I guess like for like achievements and stuff. Like if you get lost easily maybe, or if you just don't want to play the game. But I don't think the GPS would even help me because I feel like the fun part of the game is you're trying to go do something, then you go, ooh, shiny keys over there. And then you start walking the other direction. Like, I don't know if a GPS would actually help me.
We're getting all 1,000 Korok
Yeah, that would be good for that, for like a challenge run.
It's too bad they didn't introduce trophies on the Switch too, you know, to prove you did it. All you get is a literal piece of Korok shit. Building is another core part of Tears of the Kingdom. And wouldn't you know it, you can now download other people's builds.
Oh my god, so you can actually download a car! Let's go!
As if Link wasn't broken enough already. I wouldn't even consider this to...
What is... Oh, sorry. I feel like I shouldn't have seen that. I think I'm impeding on something.
Be an open world adventure game anymore. It's just a sandbox game. What would have been cool is if they expanded on the building mechanics and increased the limit for the amount of things you can attach to your builds. But I guess that would have taken actual effort. The app also lets you see your stats, like how many enemies you kill.
That's kind of nice, but that should just probably be in the game. Maybe it is, I don't remember.
Total rubies collected, in-app achievements, voice messages, which I already know every Zelda tuber is crossing their fingers hoping for some more. But again, why is this something you have to pay for, and why is it on a separate app? This should all be on the game itself.
Is this the afterlife?
If one day the app gets discontinued, then the content you're paying for is gone. This whole thing feels so Ubisoft. Like they straight up just added a checklist and then called it content so that they can squeeze out as much playtime as possible from Tears of the Kingdom, which is a game that was already squeezing out content from the previous game. They even did that stupid daily rewards thing that all the free-to-play apps do.
Oh my god, they do? I had no idea they had daily rewards. But I never really thought that Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom is like a dailies kind of game. Like, I don't know. Why do you need that?
A cheap method to make using their app part of your daily routine, using FOMO to keep you hooked. They have found a way to twist one of the most iconic game series, famous for its innovation, into mobile slop.
And that's why Breath of the Wild was so great. I think it's because I'd never really played a game like that before. And I loved it because it kept like drawing me back in, which is why I guess I didn't like Tears of the Kingdom as much, because it was just kind of the same thing, but didn't really feel very innovative. And maybe there were like too many mechanics and my brain just went...
When you scan an Amiibo 5 times, you'll get an additional bonus use of that Amiibo that you could normally only scan once per day.
They are ruining my favorite franchise, and I hate it. But I don't even have a joke to make here. I just hate this. Meanwhile, Oblivion just got a remaster for $50, but it keeps getting worse.
Did anybody know that Oblivion remaster was coming out, or was it just kind of like randomly dropped? I don't know, actually. I just woke up and everybody was like, Oblivion's out, and I was like, dang, I'll play that.
GameCube games
was a
have been confirmed
surprise.
for the Nintendo
I love that
Switch
noise.
online subscription.
Oh, it was leaked?
No. Stop clapping.
No.
This is not a win. All they did is take away the feature to play old games, and then they later on re-added it, but crappier.
And I remember it was expensive because I got hoed here, okay? You had to pay for the expansion pass to play Mario Party 2, okay? So this pack used to come with Mario Party 2. It was $100, I think, or something around there. And somebody wanted to play Mario Party 2, so I bought it. Then I got on stream and she goes, oh, I meant Mario Party Jamboree, like the second Mario Party for the Switch. I spent $100 on this crap! I haven't even used it once!
They are doubling down on a shitty payment
Yeah,
model, where they drip feed you a couple games here and there, making you feel like you're getting your money's worth. When in reality, you don't own any of the games, and over time you end up paying more money than if you actually bought them. Nintendo not bringing back Virtual Console is the biggest argument to emulate their games. And I'm saying this as a huge Wind Waker fan. It's my favorite game ever made, and yet even I can see that this is a bad omen. Also, as a side note, the Zelda fan base has grown a lot since Breath of the Wild, right? So that means...
Well, it was because it was like a good entry game because you didn't technically have to know anything, and it was easy to play and fun.
there will be plenty of new fans playing Wind Waker for the first time. And Wind Waker is a timeless game that holds up extremely well, but the HD remaster is clearly the best way to play it. So it's a shame.
Doesn't Wind Waker have that really awful water temple? I think I played it a long time ago when people were like, wait till you get to the water temple. That's where gamers either become extreme gamers or quit forever.
Their first exposure to this masterpiece isn't going to be as great as it should have been. Ask any fan and they
Oh, that was Ocarina of Time. You're right. I do actually remember that water temple. I got so confused.
will tell you a Twilight Princess / Wind Waker bundle should have been the move. And guys, it keeps getting worse. Most games on cartridges don't even have the actual game in it.
And they don't even, that way you can't even get a little snack. Like, I wanted to taste the cartridge, but I guess not.
Just a license key to download, meaning not only is it worthless without an internet connection, but in 10 years when the Switch 2 gets discontinued, your physical game will be worthless. And this is just nitpicking here, but do these game cases not look ugly as hell? Like, that red bar is too damn big. I don't like it. The game art.
It's just, I think that it's confusing branding for, like, grandma. Like, if grandma's gonna go and pick me up a Switch 2 game, or even a Switch 2, I think she's gonna get confused. I don't know what they could have done. Do you think maybe they could have went with, like, a blue? But blue is kind of like PlayStation. Maybe a different color would have helped? But the red is really iconic, so I'm not sure what they could have done. Maybe a different logo?
Art looks so much cleaner on the original Switch case, but what irks me the most in terms of design is the menu. They are reusing the same plain, boring menu screen.
I'm gonna be honest, I was actually so happy and I called my optometrist. I'm just kidding, I didn't go that far, but I was happy that it loaded in dark mode. That was a good choice. Thank you. I will give it up for that.
As the Switch
It wasn't a
One.
flashbang.
For God's sake, the Steam Deck has more personality than the Switch 2. The homebrew menu screen has more personality than this. Especially on handhelds, themes are a great way of making a console feel personalized.
Oh yeah, didn't the Nintendo DS have themes that you could download, I think?
I mean, you could tell a lot about someone just by looking at their phone wallpaper. The 3DS had so many theme options. You could change the background, the music, folders, or just have it shuffle between favorites. But with these lame-ass menu screens, they are killing their own branding of being a fun, creative gaming company.
I don't know, I guess maybe keeping the same layout is good for kids though, because they'll already know how to play it. And I feel like whenever you make games for children, even on Roblox, you have to be really careful about confusing them, because if they get confused, they're just gonna leave. Like, they're not sitting there learning how to use a new menu.
I mean, this menu feels like I just walked into Lumen. Honestly, they are handling this entire situation like Lumen.
I love Severance.
They took a page out of the Severance playbook and said, let's make this console release as corporate, confusing, and cryptic as possible, all while doing the most dubious shit behind the scenes. Let people really—
Oh, wait. I thought he was talking about Palworld, but for some reason I thought he was going to bring up the Typhlosion lore.
wonder, what the hell is going on at this company? This video has been a pain in the ass to make because every day there is a new controversy surrounding the Switch 2. People didn't know how much the games or console cost, what was included with the games, what a key cartridge is.
I've seen a lot of people going back and forth on if the games are going to be $90 or $80.
How much it would cost in their country, what features require a subscription. Some were saying physical games will be more expensive than digital, and Mario Kart is $90, but
yeah, it was confusing.
And then we found out the Switch 2 will be cheaper in Japan, and cartridges are download on.
I think they were cheaper in Japan, but to be fair, when I did live in Japan, everything there, like the amount of money that people make in Japan is not as much as you think. So they really probably couldn't have afforded a $500 USD console. And I think the way they did it so that people in like the US didn't buy it is that it's only in Japanese, which I guess is kind of like a smart strat. I don't know.
Only, but not all of them. And also you need a subscription to use the C button, and the GameCube controller only works with GameCube games, except that was a lie, and it does work with other games with limited functionality. And oops, Nintendo made a typo, and VRR is only supported in handheld mode and not well docked. And information just keeps on coming out from different sources in different corners of the internet. And just now I'm finding out you need to link a phone number for game chat. I mean,
what?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Nintendo Switch 2 game chat requires your phone number for verification purposes. I guess because they want to be cautious since there's a lot of children online, right? Like, I remember when people were talking about the camera, they were like, damn, everybody's gonna be using the camera in Mario Kart. They would never do that. Like, you can, like, have nasty stuff on screen. Like, they have to think about, I guess, like, kids and stuff like that, you know? I don't know.
Surprised if this video gets outdated a day after it comes out. But
wait, social security number 2? Ain't no way. Was that a joke? No way. Wait, I'm going back. That's not true.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Verify their identity first by providing a phone number, or if you've already linked it, the number already associated with your Nintendo account. I would have hated that if I was a kid because I would have to go up to my mom and ask for the phone, and then she's not going to want to do it, and then I'm going to have to go cry. That's hard to explain to parents.
Surprised if this video gets outdated a day after it comes out. But if they just gave us all the information directly, then there wouldn't be so much confusion. And their interviews didn't help clear things up at all. They are so coy with their decision making that every answer they give just leaves more questions.
They're scared. They know that they're messing up, and they're scared that they're gonna lose people.
Did you guys fix the stick drift? The new Joy-Con 2 controllers for the Nintendo Switch 2 have really been designed from the ground up, from scratch, to have bigger movement and smoother movement.
Nothing answer. That was like the biggest middle finger ever. If you're confident in the product, it shouldn't be hard to answer the question.
Okay, who's developing the new Donkey Kong game? It's a very good question.
And I think that the people speaking are probably scared to talk because they probably signed like crazy NDAs. They're told not to speak, and then they have to go in front of everybody and answer these like riddle questions to them. So they answer it like a Jeopardy question. I don't know how to explain it like that. They don't know what to do either.
You'll have to stay tuned.
Yeah.
Guys, the Switch 2 prices are mysterious and important.
Why didn't you say so?
And in the shadows, while all of that was going on,
yeah, it's like talking to
Nintendo
politicians.
was up to no good.
Hey, get
they
back
have
here, Mario.
updated the Switch user agreement to say
being
you are
devious.
not allowed to sue them.
What?
Oh yeah, so if all your Joy-Con 2s start drifting, not their fault. If you wake up one day and your Switch 2 is bricked, it is also not their fault. It's actually a feature. They can remotely brick your console if they think you are tampering with its software.
They can do that? So if they think you have like homebrew, they can brick your console? Oh my god, I didn't know that. That's insane. Holy crap.
This is meant to stop piracy and hacking, but it also means you can't mod your Switch in any way.
Was that for Switch 1 or just Switch 2? I modded my Switch 1. Oh my god, god, I'm scared. Are they taking me to jail? Please don't take me to jail. Please don't take me to jail.
So let me get this straight.
I'm going to jail, everybody.
You have to pay money for games to take advantage of the hardware you already bought. And if you use it in any way that isn't officially supported by Nintendo, it will get bricked.
I modded it so that way I could play 10,000cc Mario Kart. And it was really hard. Like, you would drive...
And in the case that it malfunctions, or, I don't know, is unfairly bricked, Nintendo isn't accountable. Do you even own this thing? And it doesn't stop there. As some of you might know, Nintendo is suing Palworld over 3 different game patents.
Yeah, I think it's for throwing the balls. But they also have really weird copyrights too. I think they have like a patent on shadows behind trees that are the shape of a character.
Aiming and throwing a sphere-like object to capture a monster. Engaging in battle by launching one creature at another.
Wow.
A dynamic mounting system for moving across land, water, and air.
Okay, Nintendo, are we gonna sue, like, cars? Are we gonna sue World of Warcraft? How can you implement that? There's no way. You could ride stuff all the time.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
Y'all do y'all, but if any of this information is surprising, you have not been paying attention. Well, me then. What? What?
And all 3 of those patents were registered after the initial release of Palworld in 2024. Clearly designed for the sole purpose of going after Palworld. They're trying to monopolize basic game mechanics. I have a whole video about it if you want more details, but there have been some updates recently. Palworld is going to have to make some gameplay changes due to the ongoing lawsuit. One of them was made a few months ago, which is you can no longer aim and throw your pals out.
They did that? I had no idea. I played it a lot when it came out, and I actually thought it was pretty fun. And I remember the general sentiment was, wow, this is what Pokemon could be if they cared. And I guess that really made Nintendo mad. How dare you show everybody that this can be fun? F you!
So before, if you wanted your pal to fight someone or mine a rock, you would throw your pal at it, and they do it. Now, they just spawn right next to you, and you kind of cross your fingers hoping that the PAL AI will know what you wanted to do. Pretty lame. And recently they have made another change. You used to be able to use your pals to glide around, but I guess Nintendo owns gliding with creatures because they changed it to only gliding with a glider. You can still unlock the ability and get the speed boost of using a pal, but
what about Fortnite? Are there like Fortnite animal gliders? Are they gonna go for Fortnite?
you need to have a glider in your inventory for it to work.
This just seems so petty. Like, all of these mechanics are in other games, but of course they're not going to do anything about it there because they literally can't. But they're just, like, bullying this company because they got mad.
Before, the PAL would straight up replace the glider, saving you the trouble of having one. So, thank you, Nintendo. I mean, they are straight up punching down bullying an indie company for making a better monster-catching game than them. How Nintendo can own the biggest franchise in the world and still find the time to be this petty is beyond me. And people need to give Palworld more credit. I know it looks like Temu Pokemon, but since its initial release, Pocket Pair has added so much to this game to
And they added Gooner Pokemon. I mean, they're not Pokemon. What are they called? Monster?
enrich its world and mechanics. Honestly, comparing it to Pokemon,
Nintendo cares more about Palworld than they care about their games. Probably
is an insult to Palworld. Like, you can get lost in this game for days. I personally have 150 hours in this thing, and it's still in early access. The game is not finished, and Nintendo is trying to prevent it from being finished. Both Nintendo and the Pokemon Company want 5 million yen each, and 5 million yen is about $33,000, which is pocket change to these guys. But they also want an injunction against its release. I guess Nintendo realizes their biggest cash cow is being threatened, and they're doing everything in their power to shut it down.
Except make their own games better? Interesting. Absolutely interesting.
Everything except making a better game.
Yes!
Now, I guarantee you will still find people ready to bat for this vile, greedy company. They will defend Nintendo's anti-consumer practices as just business, or say they are adjusting for...
I made Onceler fan art when I was a kid. That should show you guys how much of a loser reject I was. I was in the back of the class drawing the Onceler.
inflation, not taking into account that the cost of living is much higher now than back then.
Oh my god, McChicken used to be $1, man, and it was good.
But you know, I can at least see where those people are coming from. But this? How the hell do you justify this lawsuit, which is so obviously being done out of malicious intent? You just can't deny Nintendo's greediness. It's staring at you in the face. And people will still say, "Stop screaming, drop the price. You're not gonna make a difference. We all know you'll buy it anyway." These people should be shamed, because it's exactly this kind of thinking that is going to raise prices even more than $80. Don't take my word for it, just look at that answer Mr. Bowser gave. In addition to the variable price stuff, he also pointed out that they previously charged higher prices before with Tears of the Kingdom, and that they charged $60 for Link's Awakening, which was a remake of a Game Boy game.
They did?
And yet, they were massively popular. You know what? He makes a good point. It was our reckless spending that created the monster we see today. I mean, it is crazy to me that they think so little of their fans that they didn't even disclose any prices or give any details on the functionality.
Well, it's more like they're scared, right? Like they don't know what public perception is gonna be, so they're not gonna say anything until it's like just about time. Like they're literally doing what you guys did when you were a kid and you had to ask your mom the day before to go buy you a poster board. They know it's not gonna go over well, so they're just waiting until they really have to do it.
Of the Switch 2 in the Direct. They just announced it and assumed people would buy it, no questions asked. Oh, too expensive? If you're a broke boy, just say so.
Wow, I like the dub. Actually, let me go back. I want to see the dub of that again. That was insane.
Oh, too expensive? If you're a broke boy, just say so. Stick to the Switch 1, buddy. Is this how far Nintendo fans have fallen? Like, you just give it up that easily now? They flash some cow breasts at you and it's enough for you to open up your wallet?
Hey man, it was the udders, okay? They were utterly amazing.
It's like, at least let them take you to dinner before they clap your cheeks, you know? Does anyone remember the days when Nintendo actually used to try to sell us on a game before we bought it? I mean, just look back at the
I've never seen it. Is it good? I've never ever seen Golden Boy. Is that something I should be doing?
Mario Kart 8 Direct. They presented it in a format of someone flipping through TV channels. And the channels talk about different Mario Kart related things.
Ready! Because ready or not, it's time to meet the new racers in Mario Kart 8.
The global news talked about internet functionality. The History channel talked about the history of Mario Kart games. They even had some jokes in there.
That one special day, I had Donkey Kong toss a bob-omb and made a monkey of myself.
Okay.
And for the Science channel, they had a Karts vs. Bikes comparison, which was a clever way of showing the game mechanics. They were surprisingly self-aware about it and felt like they were making a parody of themselves.
That's fun! Guys, companies used to be so cool. Like, we watched all of the TF2 videos, the Meet the Team. That was interesting because it was like when companies weren't afraid to like be game edgy, or you know what I mean? Like, it's like safe edge, but it's nice whenever they care about the product and just do things to make the fans happy.
While still getting the important information out there.
It's like Nintendo hurt me.
And they ended it by announcing you can get a free download code for any one of these games just by registering your Mario Kart 8 copy at Club Nintendo. And they
Didn't Club Nintendo also give you gifts and stuff if you got enough points or you bought enough things? I will say, I do think it's cool that, I don't know if they did it for the Switch 2, but I think I remember on the Switch 1, if you would buy a lot of games, you would get points, and then you could use your points to get discounts. I don't know if they're doing that still, but I thought that was nice.
Announced the Wii U bundle. Best of all, they did it in a way that was straight to the point and left no room for confusion.
Just the Mario Kart 8 Wii U bundle.
I miss him!
Register the game with Club Nintendo and get a digital version of one of 4 amazing games for free. That's a great way to get into the next generation of Nintendo games.
Is that too much to ask? Where did we go wrong? How did we go from this to this, where they just talked about what we already know?
Familiar characters like Mario, Luigi, Peach.
In a boring AI voice, spent 1 minute announcing collectibles, and then ended without even mentioning the price. Man, we had it so good. But you know what? It's not all doom and gloom.
There's something to look forward
I'm so grateful to Nintendo for allowing us to watch this presentation completely free.
Woo! We You're probably gonna start paying for that in the future.
Because this time, things feel different.
I'm so
Imagine Nintendo Direct, members only. Oh my god, that's probably coming next.
glad that Mario was a playable character in this game. Thanks for spelling that out.
I'm grateful to Nintendo for not selling the carts separately in a Mario Kart game. Thanks, Nintendo.
Basically, this could have been an email of directs.
$80 for a new Mario Kart. With free roam, Mr. Squidward. With free roam.
Things are different. People are noticing. They thought they had the industry wrapped around their finger, but they were more wrong than even I can imagine.
I want to know what people in Japan think about this. I always just see people like in the US talking about it, or like EU or Canada. I don't know what people in Japan think. I think that you even had to win a lottery to buy a Switch 2, because it was like that was the system that they used.
When they had 2 days of live streams where they would play upcoming games, for the entire duration of those streams, the chat only read one thing: drop the price. Non-stop for 4 hours straight. Drop the price.
Yep.
This right here warms my heart. To me, I feel like I've been fighting this battle for so long, and now help has finally arrived. And seeing people this united against Nintendo's corporate greed, it gives me hope for the gaming industry.
Doug Bowser, I love you! And drop the prices!
We aren't cooked just yet, people.
Uh-oh.
Listen, I don't care that Switch 2 pre-order sold out. That doesn't mean
They got the
anything.
girlies
It was
in the
guaranteed
line.
to happen. Every console's pre-order sold out. The Wii U's pre-orders sold out. What matters is if they could keep up a steady number of sales through.
I think you could still get the Switch 2 a day drop. I think that there were actually a lot that were still available, which was crazy.
Throughout the console's lifetime. Look at the 3DS. Pre-order sold out, 5 months later no one was buying it, so they reduced the price by $80. They let the success of the old console get to their head, they got greedy, gamers humbled them, and the price went down. Same thing with the PlayStation 3. The PS2, huge success. They got really greedy, pre-orders sold out, then they had low sales, dropped the price multiple times, and made a rebound. And now we must do the same thing with the Switch 2.
Aw, okay, this kind of makes me sentimental. I really miss midnight releases. And another thing that I also really miss was whenever you had to get your mom to drive you to GameStop so that way you could download a Pokemon onto your DS. I like that stuff too.
It's arguably more important than ever
just
for this
probably
pattern to
sentimental.
repeat, because this isn't just about Nintendo, but the industry
I'm
as a
old.
whole. It's no coincidence that not even a month after the Switch 2
Oh yeah, I got a comment recently. It made me laugh. Somebody commented on the YouTube channel. They said, You're 28? I didn't know you were so old. When did that happen?" Oh, I guess just naturally? It just kind of happened?
prices were revealed, Xbox also announced they're increasing their prices to $80. And the way all these CEOs and presidents have been talking, soon enough $80 will be considered a low price. Capcom's president says gamers should pay $80 to $100 per video game. Embracer Group CEO says if you create an enormous polished RPG, consumers will be willing to pay more, but no one has tried it yet. Until now. Gearbox CEO says real fans will pay $80 for Borderlands 4. Take-Two CEO has been talking about pricing games per hour. Ubisoft's director of subscriptions says we should get used to not owning our games.
That is insane. If I buy it, I own it. That is crazy to say that it's not even mine. I'm borrowing it for $80? Huh? That is insane. That is probably the most egregious statement. And you know it is because it's Ubisoft.
What the
That's
hell?
crazy.
It's like
If you keep saying stuff like that, you're just gonna make people ride the seas more. Like they're just going to download games for free. There's no way. That's nuts. I'm not paying money for something that's not mine.
everyone in the industry unanimously went,
You're broke, boy, just say so.
you see, unlike back then where everyone was competing to have.
And look, I don't mind games getting more expensive, but if I'm gonna be paying more for the game, I shouldn't see massive layoffs all the time. Why am I giving you more money then if you're gonna be firing more people working on the game? That's nuts.
The lowest prices. Now, it feels like they are working with each other to try and raise prices, and they are already high as they are.
That's what I was saying. Like, I don't know if Nintendo took the fall or if they did it because they were going to do it anyway and they were the first people to do it. Because there's no way these companies aren't talking to each other. They probably all are talking about how they want all the games to be more expensive.
Games like Split Fiction, Expedition 33, or
Great
even
game.
Palworld prove that you don't need a crazy budget to make a good game.
Yeah, Expedition 33 was great. And they even found like people, I think the guy that made the soundtrack was off of SoundCloud and people who were making the stories were like Redditors and stuff. It's insane.
And a common sentiment I've been hearing a lot online is the Switch 2 is going to be great. Just look at how fast pre-orders sold out. And Nintendo even predicts to sell 15 to 20 million units.
I don't know, because you also have to think about scalpers. Like, there's a lot of people who buy like a bajillion units just to upsell them.
So you're telling me that Out of Touch company has high expectations for their expensive new console? Oh, like what's that supposed to prove? And yeah, pre-order sold out.
How excited are you? Absolutely excited!
They have an incredibly loyal fan base who would give an arm and a leg just to see the thing. It's almost like it's a scalper's dream come true.
Yeah!
And the thing is,
Okay, I'm realizing the more I talk, the more this video looks pre-watched. The script of the video is good because you make like the next step. I did not watch this video.
they aren't even completely wrong. I mean, if I'm being real, the whole reason I am making this video is because I'm scared of the Switch 2 succeeding. There's a very good chance it will do great. But these people who are spouting the Switch 2 accolades, they're stating the obvious without reading into the subtext, which is Switch 2 selling more means more expensive and lower quality games for you. If you are buying the Switch 2, you're telling Nintendo, yes, I like it when you raise the price. I like it when I don't own the game. I like it when you hide basic.
There's so much spanking in this video. I feel like I have to mention it. I have seen everybody get spanked. There's been like 3 people getting spanked.
functions behind subscriptions. I like paying for tutorials or not giving us autonomy over our own gaming systems. But if you don't like any of those things, then you don't buy the Switch 2. And still, Nintendo fans are so narrow-minded and tribalistic when it comes to their favorite company that they don't even notice we're on the same side here. I'm also a nostalgia fiend.
What? Is he eating sugar? Oh yeah, let's go, let's go.
I don't want Nintendo to shrivel up and die, I want them to be better. I think the games look great, and mouse mode has insane potential. But
I like the mouse mode. I'm gonna be honest, when we watched the videos, people were clowning on that. They were like, this is dumb, this is dumb. But for games like, I don't know, Slay the Spire, I'm not even sure if it's on the Switch. It would be nice to like navigate like that.
Problem isn't the Switch 2, it's everything surrounding it. And when you give a greedy company an inch, they take a mile. Any gamer capable of pattern recognition can see the slippery slope that the gaming industry is standing on. And they realize the importance of a boycott, because Nintendo is building the bridge to expensive games, and everybody else is going to cross.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. GamePack said, it's funny how people talk about this, but realistically, gamers are a small part of the market. No one ever considers the little Tommies and Susies that beg their parents for the new thing, or the average Joes. Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't check the stuff out, and they buy it, or their kids want it, and I don't think they think of like the implications of a game company. They just see, they're like, damn, that's gonna be some overtime, but I want to make my kids happy. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Like, not everybody who buys the Switch 2 is a villain. They might just be like a child who wants to play Mario Kart when their friends come over.
And we need to counter with a very simple method. Don't buy the Switch 2. Give it at least a year minimum, and they will lower the price. We've seen it happen.
Okay, I don't know though. I know that they did lower the price previously, but I will say, I have never bought a Nintendo game on sale. Never. How much do they still charge for Breath of the Wild? They're not gonna, I don't think they care.
We know it works. Ideally, we would just not buy the Switch 2 until they lower the price, but I don't think I'm being unreasonable by asking you to wait at least a year. Prices aside, being an early adopter of a new console is never a good idea. You already know they're gonna come out with an OLED model, special editions, or fix some sort of defect.
Oh my god, the Red Ring of Death. I remember that our Xbox was broken when I was a kid, and my dad panicked and he wrapped it in a bunch of towels and put it in the freezer. The way you fixed stuff back in the day was so funny, man.
All those third-party games that are full price at release will be on discount later on. And the only notable first-party titles in its first year are Mario Kart and Donkey Kong. Is it really worth it to spend $800 to play 2 games? You'll end up spending most of your time playing third-party games. Games that on every
PC.
other console run better, are cheaper, and in some cases you actually own them. And I am 100% that there are some bangers on the console you currently own, but just haven't played yet. So waiting on buying the Switch 2, regardless of your personal opinions on Nintendo, is just the smart thing to do. I mean, who knows, we might see a Steam Deck 2 or portable PlayStation console in the coming years.
Isn't there an Xbox portable console that got leaked or something? I think that's what happened, or they're saying that it might be happening this year. Yes? Yeah. I was about to say, did I just have a dream? Oh, they announced it. Okay. I was like, did I just dream that for some reason?
You honestly have every reason to wait before buying the Switch 2.
They announced
but
it.
won't
Okay,
be
cool.
easy
I didn't
because
really watch the
I
Xbox
guarantee
one.
you, in the first 6 months of its release, you won't be able to find one in stores. Articles will come out
Oh.
talking about how huge of a success it is. And all the Nintendo YouTubers will be showing it off in their videos, because it's their job to do so.
You can still buy a day of. I think you can probably buy one right now.
Game of the Year. And the hype of a new console generation will start to feel real. It will feel like buying Switch 2 is an obvious choice, but it is up to us to make up for the negligence of the Nintendo bots. I know you probably feel like, psh, trying to save the gaming industry? I'm just trying to play video games. But the thing is, if we don't do it, who will?
I really do think that statement that you guys made in chat earlier does make sense, because no 4-year-old is watching this video and they go, goo goo, goo goo gaga, goo goo, goo goo gaga.
Like, who's gonna carry the boats so that the next generation can enjoy affordable video games like we did? You know, it's for those who come after. When we were children, Nintendo gave us wonder. They gave us joy, imagination, adventure, and we were grateful. We still are.
4 and can't talk? Why do you say 4? I think 4-year-olds can speak. I don't know. I don't know any 4-year-olds.
Are, but the games we once owned
I don't
now
know a single
leased.
4-year-old.
The joy we once shared now gated behind price tags and subscriptions. They ask for our loyalty, but they don't even earn it anymore. And yet, we still buy.
It's been a long time since she was 4, says the Hag Rizzer. So that's like extra points with you, I guess?
Out of habit, out of fear of missing out, out of love for the very legacy they're leveraging against us. But this time, we do something different. Today we remember that we have power. They cannot profit without our wallets. They cannot win unless we let them. So I ask you, not as enemies of Nintendo, but
I love the Attack on Titan, man. I know that this is like not a good take for the anime onlys, but I hated the ending. Every time I see it now, I just get visibly angry.
as defenders of what they used to stand for, which is fun, creative freedom, and gaming for all. To not buy the Switch 2.
It was so
I don't even
good.
care if it's your kid's birthday. Teach them what smart spending looks like. Get them a Steam Deck. Play pretend with them and be pirates for all I care. But we will boycott. Not because we hate Nintendo, but because we still believe that they can do better. Think about it. Who else will do it? If not them, then it
Look
has
at all
to
those
be
people outside.
you.
I don't go outside. Wow! Okay! That was a good video. That was actually really well put together. I don't know, it had a lot of points where you can like discuss and have your own opinion. I felt like I watched this and now I have to go to like a discussion board. Today is my birthday. Happy birthday! Can we get a Feels birthday fade in the chat? Happy birthday. I hope you're having a good one. Oh wait, your name is Omni-Man. Did you see that they're gonna have an Invincible fighting game? That was a good video. I think yeah, this channel only has 10,000 subs. Holy crap, that was really good. That was insane. And the editing was good too. Wow, good job, Unlocked. That was amazing. That was so good. That was really, really good actually.